Hi all, welcome to the Marquee Matchups for the week of the 14th of November. Plenty to cover this week as always guys, so hopefully you find this useful as always. Let me know in the comments down below what you fancy for the Marquee Matchups for this week. And for the Predictions League, this is week 2. Jeffers currently sits top of the league with them all spot on. I would have had 3 out of 4, but I slipped up and changed one of my options for the league. But 3 out of 4 is what I properly got if you followed me for this week guys. So hopefully you find this useful guys. Let's jump into the Marquee Matchups for this week. So our first route is coming from the EPL, which is the North London Derby. Should be fairly straightforward in terms of preparing. I would say personally you're going to need 79 rated, maybe even the first route that could sneak to an 80, but I highly doubt it. For Arsenal and Spurs, probably just one from each, and personal preference, just build the league and then go from there guys. I think we might start to see SBCs for the Marquee Matchups where it might focus on the league specifically. And in reality, you kind of would if it was Arsenal and Spurs, because there's not really much. You can hybridise it a little bit, depending on who you use. For example, like Nkudu, for example, for Spurs, or Llorente, these kind of players. But you probably need one and one from both. France, and the France option of the week is Bordeaux versus Marseille. This is my second big shout of the week, guys. Arsenal and Spurs being the first. Bordeaux and Marseille is a mini classical. We've not had a French route for a while, and I think we're going to get it. Despite being about 6 big derbies this week, this is the one I'm going for this week. 78 rating overall is minimum, I would say. Smart shouts, Troglu, Germain for Marseille. Otavio, the CDM at right centre defensive mid, he is a strong shout. And then guys like Thomas, Dante, Tete, Kazri, these kind of Salabur, these kind of players for Ligue 1 in general. Mix of French, mix of rares, and you'd be kind of well and truly covered. 7 out of 10 is what I fancy this for, guys. The alternative French route is in the second tier, which is the, I think it's like the Breton Derby or something, or one of these ones. It's Lorient versus Brest. You've only got 2 goals in the whole league, which is Marvaux, who plays for Lorient. He could be someone of very good use, guys, so be prepared. People might invest in him. And the left back, and I think it's Nimes is the team. I'm definitely trying to. I've got both stocked up anyway, just in case, especially Marvaux. Do the left back's a no risk option, but for me, this a 5 out of 10 shout. But plenty of silvers to work with. As long as it's 70 rated, guys, you will be well and truly covered. Duches is another sound shout, the goalkeeper, and you're going to find it easy. It should be easy to prepare for. Then Italy has 3 routes, and I don't fancy the Italians to have a third week in a row of an MM featured. You've got Roma versus Lazio, which would be a 6 out of 10 option. Napoli versus Milan is a 5 out of 10. And Inter versus Atalanta is another 5 out of 10 option. I just don't see them doing 3 weeks in a row. I've had Genoa Sampdoria, I've had Sweden versus Italy. I can't see us having 3 weeks in a row of an Italian SBC. Unless they're up to something which could suggest that the Calcio A could be the next league for a league SBC. However, guys, smart options you could cover go like Kurtic for Atalanta, Schlick, the striker at right side. You could go D'Ambrosio, you could go Danilo, you can go Viviano, you can go Rog, you can go Lulic, your Conte. Wish me, you're well covered, guys. Apologies for that little sneeze there. But as I said, 6 and 5s across the boards, but a 78 rated squad would be required. Spain has 2 options this week. The main one being the Madrid Derby, which I've got as a 7 out of 10 shout. I really do fancy it this week, guys. And then the alternative, which is a 5 out of 10, is Bilbao versus Villarreal. Personally, I would say Spanish players could be the option you need in abundance. So I would say personally, I've opted for probably maybe way too many Spaniards than I'd like, but I've still covered it with enough nationalities. I've still got Lenglet, I've still got Charles, and then I would still have Luisinho. But for me, 7 out of 10 for the Madrid Derby, 5 out of 10 for the Bilbao game. But as long as it's a 78 rated squad, you'd be well and truly covered for completing this particular SBC for this week. So I'm quite happy with it, but obviously you guys might think they could easily flip it around. But the Madrid Derby is one I am more confident with for preparing than the Bilbao Villarreal. Now the AFC Champions League have their final this week, and for me this is an outside shout, but I've got because it's a two-leg affair, I'm having it as a 5 out of 10, because I think they could easily throw the second leg in next week. So on that basis, I would say if they were to go for it, you'd need about a 70 to 72 rated squad. Al Hilal have all the goals in the Saudi League. The J League only really have Kiyotaki and Podolski really from a gold front. So in reality, you'd maybe want to kind of balance yourself out a little bit. It's probably just be a two league kind of option, but I honestly would say it's a 5 out of 10. Then Mexico is my next shout, guys. This is a 7 out of 10. This is one of the big derbies in Mexico. Monterrey versus Tigres. 75 rated score, guys. I genuinely think they could go pretty high with this. And to be honest, there's a lot of gold within the league, so you're not exactly going to find it tricky to build. My stumbling block, as you can see, even though it's a 75 rated squad, I have thrown in a bronze centre back. That might go against me, it might go for me, but I can easily slot in someone else. I've just threw him in. Just to give, because the actual fullbacks and is players I just don't have just now, because I've used them up for other things. But 7 out of 10 for the two players 7 out of 10 for this route respectively. I really do fancy it, and a 15k pack for your reward. Over at Poland, we have another Polish route in the form of Slask Borkro versus Arkia Gdynia. I still cannot see us having a Polish route because they just don't. It's like the Russians, they don't seem to do them. I've 70 rated squad, but honestly, it's just not gonna, I just can't see it happen. I've got it as a 4 out of 10, but I've got to feature it because it's a derby in Poland. It's a big game, but they just won't. I don't know what it is. They've had big chances for other Polish routes, and it's just not happening. The thing is, I've got so many nationalities here. My potential downfall is the lack of Polish players, even though I have got 4 in the starting lineup. You might need more than 4, so be aware of that. You might need like half a dozen. Colombia, this is the one route everyone's putting a lot of hype in, which they shouldn't, because I can't see it happening personally. I would say I have more confidence in Monterrey Tigres than Nacional versus Medellin in my personal opinion. But Nacional versus Medellin, 6 out of 10 for a shout. It is there for a reason, and it's an outside punt. But smart options, just buy up the golds really in the league, like Chara, Quintero, Gutierrez, Moreno, I think the centre mids, Torres, and there's another dude. There's so many like golds within the league that you can just kind of prop up first, buy up the golds, and then focus on some of the specific silvers. But it wouldn't. This would be the route that would go the most expensive, if anything, this week. But 6 out of 10, as I said. Over at Belgium for Lokeren versus Ghent. This is an East Flanders derby. Flanders is the region in Belgium. For those that aren't aware, full in a geography. Personal preference, buy up the golds. This is the way I'm thinking about it if you were to go this route. 5 out of 10 for options. I feel there's stronger Belgian routes that will pop up sooner or later, and this not being one of them, I'm afraid. But guys like Denswell, Van Dam, Ochoa, Vanaken, Combs, Kubo, Hani, Teodorczyk, then the Lokeren players plenty to still kind of work with. They're not too bad really, and you'd be well and truly sorted for this particular route. Probably like a 7.5 10k pack for your reward for a 5 out of 10 likelihood. And the lowest likelihood route of the week, and it's the last route of the week, is a 3 out of 10, and it comes from the Greek league with Panathinaikos versus AEK Athens. I can't see us having 3 options in as many weeks, but for this, could be say 75 rated squad. I've just built a Greek league squad. But saying that, it's the kind of route where you don't really expect them to kind of do this, because you find it being very expensive, and also the Greek players would be probably the ones that would go up the most anyway. But for my personal opinion, guys, as I've said, Arsenal versus Spurs, Atletico Real Madrid, Monterrey versus Tigres, and Bordeaux versus Marseille. Hopefully you find this useful as always, guys. Remember to check out everyone in the Predictions League. The links will be down in the description as last week. Take it easy, all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.